Hello everybody. Today we are going to learn how to make transitions from build to drop and also from drop to breakdown. I'm working on this remix and I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Yes. We're gonna go over how to do this too right here. Yes. We're going to learn these tips, these tricks. We're going to learn exactly how to transition from all the important sections. Let's go ahead and get started. If you guys listened, there's about 3 different sections we're going to go over, and that's basically the build up to drop, as well as the middle section, which is like the A and B phrase transition to like the middle build up in the middle of the drop. And then also we'll go over how to transition from the end of the drop to the next breakdown of the song. Let's go ahead and look at the breakdown here. That's the breakdown. First, we got to know the intro. This intro's in C sharp minor. When I wrote the basses in the drop, these are also in C sharp minor, the root note, so that the whole song makes sense. We got to stay in key and make sure that when we build up and transition, we're using melody and harmony to make it easier and make it sound very clean. So stay in key, I'm using C sharp. So that means all of the sounds, they'll eventually resolve to C sharp, which is the home when they're playing. So when we play the home note or the root note, it's going to sound nice. So that's the first step into making the transition a lot easier. If you see here during the intro, we're letting the chords play and the chords are progressing. When the breakdown starts, we start to add more chords so that it adds higher energy. So let's listen. Piano chords, violin chords. And then when the breakdown happens, we add more energy and start breaking it down. So if you listen in the breakdown, we have minimal drums. Not too much drums going on, but there are still drums. We're just letting some sounds play. This is kind of the area where we can like rest a little bit from dancing. And in the breakdown, we start with a sub drop. We have the chords playing C sharp minor. Then we have these kicks playing with some more drums. These war drums are filtered and slowly coming in. Now you can see here, as it builds up, we start to add faster kicks on time. And the drum starts to speed up as well. So with the drums, I'll just duplicate the loop and then I'll use divide to divide it and make it go faster. You see here, this one's divided as well. And that speeds up these audio loops And you saw here, it filtered in as well, the war drums. Then we add like a simple drum loop to add more kicks, more snares, more energy. I add my own tear out pan snare just to add super high energy with the snares. And if you see here, they're turned down in volume. So this adds velocity. One's high, one's low. We duplicate those. Same thing when we go faster. And just keep things on time. This has an auto filter too, slowly filtering up. Just giving extra, just filling out extra space. So all those together, something like this. While that's playing, we have a bass clef washout that's washing out all the frequencies. So the lows start to go away as it starts to build. The reason we do this is so that when the drop comes, the bass will sound new and the sub will sound new compared to if we just let the kick play with all the sub. So it adds more impact during the drop. Good way to transition. If you see here, there's this section. Of course, this is for the pre-drop. And if you go up here, we can look at the pre-drop. We also have these two rides during the pre-drop. And then we have some, like a glass break. Some reverse sounds going in. This is breaking it down. And then the vocal from the original song. Well, this isn't actually from the original song. I got this from the writer of the original song, but this is the name of the song. Remember, in the breakdown, we have the chords playing. We have this ARP playing. So those are the melodic sounds that are underneath the chords that I added. So these are the original sounds from the song. Then I added my chords on top. Then we can start building it up. In this section, I mute it to have a little section that just goes with this little gun cock. So I'm splitting up little tiny fill sections in between the next prominent section to add more impact when it starts. Then as soon as the buildup starts, we add, well, first we take away all these chords, and then we start to add other sounds and start to slowly build it. So we start to loop this. So I'm looping. Instead of letting the chords progress and going different, we're looping it now. We let this ARP play. Then we have this sound. This is basically just a mid-range layer rising in pitch. Little serum patch here. So this is adding just more frequencies in the mid and high range when it plays. While it's building, I resampled the main basses, and I want those to slowly come in and kind of tease the main bass lead while it's building up. As long as the timing is perfect and you stay in key, it becomes really easy to make these buildups and breakdowns. And of course, we add more risers to add tension. They're turned down, but we add like pitch risers, you know, and sweeps, important, and then extra effects. This is on the downbeat, so as soon as the buildup starts, we have something big like this playing. So that's perfect. So that makes an easy, simple transition that's in key and in pitch, all in time as well, that rises to this pre-drop. And then as soon as the pre-drop happens, it adds a lot of craziness. And then the drop happens, which is where the impact. Now when the drop happens, we're doing a little fake drop. So the drums aren't playing right away, you see? Just one kick to set it off. We mute everything else, and then we bring in the drums. And also the basses. So doing that fake drop helps a lot with the tension and energy. So you can mess with that. That'll help you transition to your drop. But of course, when you do the drop, remember call and response. Don't just start throwing in your basses. Do a call, response. Same thing again. Just remember call and response the whole way through the drop. I usually make my drops like 32 bars. Halfway through the drop, you may feel like you want to add one of those cool middle builds, which adds a lot more tension during the drop. Basically, this next section could have been, the next part of the drop, but instead we are not riding the drop and we're going to add more kicks and snares and start building. So we have this kick, playing, building up. This is 8 bars. All this section. We have these snares, auto filter, of course. We pitched them down too with the shifter. While those are building, the really important thing is that we washed out the bass and kind of let the washout fade out. So listen, we'll solo here. So like washes out and then starts to fade out. And we do that with the bass clef easy washout, just automate that. That helps a lot. A lot. And then of course we layer impacts, risers, and we use these cool transitions to help the transition. So stuff like this. And then I added the sub. And then we add more risers when it's rising back up. Pretty simple. And then we add like literally another pre-drop. Same techniques. Cut out your space for the pre-drop. Do the call and response. Now these techniques we're basically going to follow to the end of the drop. So we're going to do the same thing that we did here and these cool effects to basically bring in the next section. It's like this sweep with this. So these impacts will follow after a fill section. And of course we had the bass clef easy washout that's washing out at the end as well. Now what I do here, instead of just going straight into the actual intro, which is basically the next part of the song, is the intro, all the melodic sections. Instead of going straight into it, we add this little section. So basically we have this mini break, a 4-bar break right before the breakdown starts. This really helps the transition after the super high energy drop. Because if you just go from super high energy straight into a breakdown, low energy, it could feel weird. These transitions help a lot. And I see a lot of DJs do them. If you do 4 or 8 bars, it helps a lot when actually DJing the song as well. And it sounds clean, easy to set your cue points like that. So listen. So we let the sweeps break it down, build it back up, and then we swing back into the melodic sections. And then just to add that little sprinkle, we bring some of the violin in, reverse it, and kind of reverse the violin back into itself. And that is clean. That's how we do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Dripment. We make bass music tutorials here, but this time we're getting technical. If you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been awesome in supporting me, and it's lovely. Please keep it up. Don't forget to follow in the Discord. You can listen to my new music in the SoundCloud and upload your music for live stream feedback Fridays. Thank you. Peace.